So there's just a short update on the Intel ARC A770 I've got, where I had issues with virtualization extensions, which Intel basically said were not supported in Windows ages ago. And it turns out, it looks like I was playing with it yesterday and I just thought I'd turn on virtual extensions just out of interest and to see if it actually boots, because I ended up with some really weird Windows errors. And it turns out that the latest firmware updates, or at least one of the updates along the way, actually allowed basically virtualization extensions to be enabled in the BIOS again. So this is just using what is it? I'll find it in a moment. Where's it gone? Just 1 second, get it up. So in this case, I've got whatever I've got. Oops, memory information. So this is a Rogstrix A570. I've just enabled the CPU extensions, and I've actually managed to enable resizable bar. The system I'm using was originally Windows 7, which ended up on Windows 10, but it was using a device type of, it was using an MBR disk. Just had lots of aggravation converting this to GPT. As it turns out, one of the big issues I had was actually the boot drive was actually, or the where is it, the boot sector and where the initial boot was actually on a different disk. Funny error log I had originally. Bear me a second. Where's it gone? So, for instance, had this error here where it said it can't find the OS partition for the disk. So this is a particular disk SSD. So from where the SSD, so basically it said can't find the OS on for the disk, but it was there because it was basically booting. So one of the things I found I had to do was to copy the original MBR boot stuff onto what would be the new C drive, so I could actually change the boot path to where it should have actually gone. Doesn't really show it here. Oops, one place. But basically there was a folder which only did here, which I can't remember, which is an MBR folder, which I had to copy out of Windows somewhere onto it, and then that allowed me to do a MBR to GPT conversion successfully, which probably is funny here, where basically adding the bits in allowed me to do that, and basically finally converted to GPT, which then now enabled the resizable bar to be enabled, although for some reason Windows complained about it a while back. But the upshot is what it does enable is where's it gone? Got a Windows 11 running on Hyper-V, so that's running okay, got that running, and Oracle VirtualBox managed to resurrect some of the old VMs I had running, which was interesting. Whoops, stuck in the window. Even down to things like, well, this is OS2, so I was just playing around with some things recently. But yeah, although oddly, I did find, where is Hyper-V gone? Lost it, there it is. I did have a bunch of issues with some I'm running, well, some Linux ones which didn't actually quite work. I had a couple of issues with some original Windows box. I can't remember about these ones, whether they worked or not. But essentially, there's some weirdness where these did actually work, and it's complaining about boot drives missing and stuff, and it's corrupted the XFS file system on them, which is a bit weird. Not sure what's to do with, maybe conversion to GPT has done something to them, but I don't know. Anyway, upshot is with the current versions of the drivers, this particular one is 4644 with the BIOS updates, with the firmware updates to the graphics card, you can actually enable virtualization, and this is actually the AMD virtualization in this case, which I've actually enabled. So yeah, happy days after lots of hours messing around with it. But yeah, that's basically it. It is possible to do virtual extensions with Hyper-V and VirtualBox on AMD with an Intel ARC graphics card.